غرباء غرباء غرباء.
By their arbitrary laws. So who do we go by if morality is relative? We can't, if it's relative, I can't say he is wrong. Yeah, but listen, this is what they are doing and they're coming to different conclusions.
I can make a relative argument of why murder is a bad idea. I can make that argument.
Yeah, and we can, and most people, but most people will agree. But when it comes to neo-Nazis who believe in the extermination of all of the other, they'll also use that same logic. Now, if you use your arbitrary logic, he uses his arbitrary logic. Who am I to follow if there's no universality? And this is where we say God has a vantage point.
Now, the question I asked is what makes you know your mum? It's a very important question. Because the people giving them, I want to know how they process religion, right? So what happens in your existence that makes you question the existence of Allah?
No, I don't question it.
It's not the question, it's the
So you're
laziness
saying
of the soul.
you never question
You can never be convinced
I believed
otherwise.
this before I became Muslim. I never questioned, even when I wasn't religious, I never questioned his God. I always believed that there was something out there that was watching me. Even when
It could be a negative force.
It could be an alien.
No, an alien, I don't believe.
When you talk about greater than us, there's someone you think that
No,
there's some people greater than
but
us.
my definition of that force was not alien. I don't believe that alien like ET or these things all knowing. I'm not talking about like some little alien force out there. I believe there's an all powerful. I always believe. I don't know about other people. There's I don't know what Galactus is. Is it a Transformer or something? Yeah. Okay. Transformers. Optimus Prime. No, I never had a picture of it. It wasn't black. It wasn't white. It's just a force, and I knew that whatever I was doing, it was aware of it. That it was aware of what I was doing, even if the police didn't see me on CCTV and so forth. I always had that. When I read the Quran and I read the description of God, say that God is one, He's absolute, He's eternal, He doesn't give birth, He doesn't have begotten children like Jesus and this, that, and the other, doesn't rest. So that fit like a jigsaw puzzle.
I've asked questions, as far as I'm concerned, your answer is no matter how much you sin, you always 100% believe in. Okay,
perfect.
So now we're going to move to the next one.
Yeah.
Right? It's a two-part question, but you have to answer. What does Allah want?
He says that he only created mankind that they should worship unto him.
Now, here's the next question. Now, I'm going to ask the Muslims who've identified, right? Just say Allah, He can do anything, right? Force can do anything.
Within logic, yeah.
Okay.
For example, do you understand what it means by that?
Well,
The sentence is nonsensical.
So, let's say Allah said, you know what, right? He sees great, what's your name, sorry?
Hamza.
I see great potential in Hamza. I'm going to make Hamza be God for 5 days. 5 days, only 5. Then I'm going to be God after, right? He could do that, technically, right? If he's powerful, right?
No.
He couldn't.
No, we say that's a non-logical statement. That's why I
Let me
preface
make it easy
that.
then. Let me make it easy then. Do you think, if you've established that God wants us to worship Him, right? Do you think the way He's going about doing it is the best way of doing it?
Again, this is it. I would say, how is it that we're measuring this?
You let him get to start taking it, both of them. It's like,
As in, are we measuring it by our standards, which is limited, and we know it's based upon experiential knowledge?
I'm basing it by a result.
No,
So the goal is, I'm not Allah, but let's just step out. Allah is here, right? Let's say here for now, right? Yeah? And Allah says, I want everyone to be a Muslim. Is the way He's going about doing it, in your mind, the best way?
This is
This question is so much more deep than you know, because I'm more trying to get to your mind rather than the answer. So how you process information is important to me.
Understand.
It tells me whether we can get to the next stage of the conversation.
Whereas I approach this as a much more complex situation. For example, you know when the Orientalists go into another country, when they went to the Far East or the Africa, this and that, they saw these people as a static people who never ever evolved, and they measured by whose standards. They saw the women, for example, naked, and they said they were sexualized. They didn't think about the climate. When they moved into the area, they also became naked as well, which is a double standard. But what happened is they were judging them by whose morals and whose standards, their own, with no understanding of the vantage point. Now me, if I were to say, is God right in X, Y, and Z, on what standard am I using?
We don't use the right. It's very important. Is that the best way?
Best way, yeah. So even if I say best way, I'm assuming it means the most right way. Yeah, so that's why I use the word right. Then I'm saying, who am I, and do I have that vantage point to challenge a God whom I believe is all-knowing?
That's an interesting question to you,
So that's my answer.
Right, so that's it. So for me, I would say.
You want to answer? He seemed like you want to answer the question.
Go ahead.
So I've heard all of what you're saying, but
I hope you're not against it. You're supposed to be.
no, I believe in what I'm going to ask, but I want to hear from you why you want this whole idea of punishment, that you're going to be punished. And he was saying that if he really believed, then he would never sin. So I want to know, in order to believe this, you need to believe that God is actively involved in your life.
Yes.
He's actively involved in the world around you. So I can understand the proof for how God created the world, but how do you know from the point of creation that God's now involved with your life and my life?
Well, you know, some of the arguments against this is that there's multiple universes. They try to suggest that there's multi-universes, to say that the universe is that big and you're that irrelevant. I think that there's more evidence that God is relevant in your life. The very fact that you have multiple universes and that you have life in this one speck of dot that floats in the universe and is sustainable for you and I, that we can interact with that.
There's more
That for me.
places,
No,
But the involvement. Like, every action I do has an effect.
Either way, God is blessing you in your life.
Yeah. If you the very fact that you have a breath is for me the interaction of God in my
Let me
life.
elevate the conversation by showing different perspectives. You've given an answer now. Now, do you think whatever God, whether it's Jewish, Sikh, or everybody, that the way that they are presenting how they want you to believe, do you reckon that's the best way of them doing it?
Not at all.
You see, and that's the difference between that. When you understand that mindset, how people process information, you'll be able to take the conversation.
Where does he meet Muslims trying to Sharia law or force you to become Muslim?
No, it's not Sharia law.
not that.
The question is
Not
this.
that.
The question is, if there is an all-knowing force that wants you to acknowledge it, is that what strategy should it use that will be best to achieve that goal? Now, the strategy that most Abrahamic faiths use is privately reveal information to a person who then goes and reveals it to a bigger community and then tries to expand it through now, is that the best strategy?
No, you know,
the thing is, does that make sense?
But there's a mislook. It's simple.
in the Quran it
But that's
says,
one person, right? So from a Jewish perspective, we have Moses. From the Muslim perspective, we have was it not?
Everyone was there. The revelation of Sinai.
No, he came down.
3 million people there.
No, he came down from
you
Mount.
know the
revelation
best
of
way,
God to
the best
3
way,
million
in the Quran it mentioned that had we revealed this unto an angel,
the white hair?
the people still would have rejected it. And even if they didn't reject it, it would have got to a point where it's so obvious that God exists. Do you understand? Allah wants it. There's an element of test here. There's an element of test. There is no this batin as in there's an apparent and there's a hidden.
Does it not seem a wee bit convenient to say that though? You know what I mean? It's a test. It's
But
hidden,
what if it is
but
like
it's not,
that?
but it's true, but it's a test.
That
I mean, it
sounds-
could be.
if you're hyper-skeptical,
but
yeah,
you
if
have to be
you're-
skeptical.
I don't
If you're hyper-skeptical, yeah. But then what if it actually is like that?
I wouldn't say hyper, I would say just skeptical because
Here's
there's
my
no
answer.
evidence.
So either way,
I
it
don't
could be
understand
like
the problem. There's information.
Could be.
There's
Yeah, no, it
information
could be.
from the
I
creator
see that.
saying how to live your life. Now, you might not, whether you say it was revealed in the past, at the moment, we have information of how to live your life.
Here's the confusion. I shall give you the confusion. The confusion is, would you identify as Jewish? Yes. Would you identify as Muslim? Is there anybody who identifies as Christian? There are 3 different ways, and I'm sure we can find a Sikh and someone else.
There's loads.
Loads,
There's
right?
hundreds.
And they all got this, everyone seems to have the same way of believing, private revelation, right? Which is fine. But I'm saying, if it was the most best strategy, there would only be one. It would be followers of the
we
most
don't believe that the prophets came with all different religions. We believe that there was one set of prophets and it all came with worshiping God alone.
Yes, but you're not taking into account Sikhism, Hinduism, Buddhism. So they also have private revelation, except for Buddhism, which doesn't fit. Yeah, but generally, outside the Abrahamic faith, it still is private revelation, right? And I'm saying, I don't understand how I understand how you can go for private revelation, but then I don't understand how you then cannot be dedicated to not sin.
Okay.
Because if you really believe it, then you just won't sin.
So it's about sins or different religion.
I question whether many people truly believe it. It's sincere. Because I think from my perspective, if I truly knew I was going to burn forever, and I really respected the Most High, I would be sinless.
But the thing is this,
Sinless.
you have your own things that are deadly important, like is that core things that are very important to you. Yes? Are extremely important to you. And certain times, maybe rarely in your life, you've gone against it. So we have God, and it really means something to us, and we're really dedicated this, that, and the other, and so forth. And the major things, maybe we stay generally away from the major things. But after every 5 years or like certain amount of months, we slip up.
No, I hear that. Okay. I want you guys to go home with this.
Yes.
The most important question I ask for all Muslims, or Jews, or Christians, or whatever it is, do you feel that the way the creator in your religion wants you to follow that creator is the most impactful, the most impactful?
I wouldn't believe it was good if there's a better way.
Most efficient way.
Most efficient. Now, I think that's a
I wouldn't
very,
be a
very
Muslim.
important
I wouldn't be a
question.
Muslim if I thought how could fulfill the message in
Now,
the best
now,
way.
the data you have to look at is why is other people not? Why are other people not? Why are you convinced and other people not convinced? Because if I'm going to say, I'm asking you a question that looks within.
But that's multiple.
You can take it home as home.
But the whole thing is that
answer-
other people, one, they may not have read it, two, they may have read it and not seen what I seen it and so forth.
Now the question will be, what have you seen?
Huh?
The question then will be, what have you seen?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, that's why I tell people, that they should be leaving the Quran.
No.
I say I've read the Quran. You go and read. You're gonna come to a conclusion.
Can that experience be the same as a reader of the Torah or the reader
No,
of the
I tell you why.
Quran? Or any other holy-
Why? Because before I was a Muslim, I had an image of God, which the Torah goes against. So, for example, God created the world in 6 days and He rested on the seventh. I don't believe that.
Could you be wrong?
Huh?
Could you be wrong?
Be wrong of that God rests? No.
It's just
100%. 100%. My natural. 100%. The natural impulse of me never believed that thing out there.
So
let me tell you.
God doesn't have to rest, but God cannot give you supreme power.
What I'm trying to say to you
No,
is
no, God
there will
cannot
be two gods.
make you God. It would be double God. It's a paradoxical statement. If you're saying a being is all powerful, but then sleep overtakes him, it's a paradoxical
I hear
statement.
that.
That's where we
And what is
I'm saying
that thing that
if the God is all powerful, omnipresent, and of everything, then surely there will be a way around it.
No, this is
Talking against logic.
Yeah.
I had the same argument for 3 hours, man. I don't know if you want to go here.
You know this?
Please elaborate.
Can he make
better than
Hamza? Can he make Hamza his second in command?
I tell you why. No.
With super,
I tell you why.
you know that character says Silver Surfer?
No.
So God, Allah has Hamza
Do you know why?
to help him
No.
spread the
Do you know
message. Why? So why can't
Why
he
can't
give?
it be two gods, basically?
No, not two gods. You have the main God and the angel kind of like being. Can he make Hamza?
Well, there are angels.
No.
Okay, so he can. So
You mean a subordinate God?
So I'm saying, can Hamza, can God
know what you mean.
give you supernatural powers?
He does.
and
The
abilities
prophets have miracles.
to help spread Islam.
Yeah, the prophets
He
have
can.
miracles.
Now, would that be a more what's the word?
Convincing
Efficient way to get Muslims?
This is what we said that did happen. We said in the past that.
Why can it not happen again?
No,
It would be highly
it's
convincing.
not. Yeah, this is
You're
the
like,
problem.
wow.
Now, here's the next
This is
question.
what Allah
Do you
said.
think that would convict
What-
him?
in the Quran it said blessed is Allah who had He said that He had made death and life for you as a test to see what you is the best of the ones in action. So if it was made plain, then all of us would be believers. There has to be that element of testing.
Right.
Yeah?
Therefore,
So the one
therefore
who-
nobody should burn
you
in
know,
hell.
you know, ego.
Let me
is-
give you an
It's a
example.
test, and that's not fair,
Let me
man.
give you an
No,
example.
it's part of our ego takes us away from things. The love of women, the love of gold, the love of silver.
But you know what I mean, though? He's
understand,
condemning
but
people
it's
to hell.
not in Islam. We believe that it's made clear for you. As in here it is. Again, you can limit yourself in many ways. And you ask what stops a person from accepting. This is a very complex. There's now a question because we're now going to the minds of everyone, which is different. It could be money. It could be gold. It could be women. It could be carelessness and heedlessness, which is the case of most people.
It could be not believing.
It could be not believing. It could be a lack of information. It's a very complex one. The most important thing we can do is ask you why
Right.
you don't believe.
Exactly.
I gotta say, I would say it's more important why you do believe, because that requires evidence.
No, do you
Not
know why?
believing does not require
Raven,
evidence.
I believe it.
So the next thing is that he said something, it's kind of got out of my mind, about going to hell, right? So people are judged, and it's out here as a test, right? So, and you said that the message is out there and it's clear. So if you don't follow it, you're bad. But there's many, like he said, there's many religions that follow the same format. They said, well, we had a guy, it was privately revealed, he came here, told us many things from the same format. How do I know that yours is right?
This isn't exactly.
And
If
what
one
about-
is saying God rests on
But
the
it's just,
seventh day
it's just
and
somebody's word.
wasn't it? I think it was.
William.
Okay, look, if someone is
somebody's
saying
word.
to you, God rested on the seventh day, is it's easy to say, okay, give that one a break.
Why? I would say why not?
Okay,
It's
Steve,
God, do what he
Then it's
wants.
paradoxical.
Watch this. Okay, look.
And he's not all powerful.
Well, why?
Then he's not God.
It's power to rest.
No,
I wanted to
if
sleep.
sleep or slumber, and the Quran says,
But maybe it's a metaphor.
It says that neither sleep nor slumber overtakes Allah. The all-powerful being cannot be overtaken by people.
Okay, but which book said that he was?
The Bible.
Okay, so maybe they wrote the Quran deliberately to contradict it.
Oh, hold that.
Why not?
Before we get to the top of the ladder, let's take each step. So now you can cancel this book out.
Exactly.
Now you've narrowed it down. That's great. That's great.
It's just behind you.
Huh?
Why cancel the Old Testament?
I'll tell you why.
No, if you're saying that,
I'll tell you.
okay, now you're going to do
Okay, no, that's it.
theological.
I'm too
See,
tired
this
for
one,
this, man.
Okay, so this is how we start. Like I said, I was just a person who had this idea. Most people, yes, who believe in this supreme power. I didn't know about Islam and all these other things. So obviously, people, Muslims, Christians, they all say the truth. Now, I'm sure, Raven, you're not a very religious person, but I'm sure you don't believe in no idol worship or animal worship or how can I say? You don't believe in worship animals and trees and so forth.
Let me answer that.
Yes.
More legitimate.
Yeah, whatever is correct, I believe.
Okay.
I see no evidence to believe in anything.
Yes.
Because I'm going to the people who do it and I'm going, why do it? And I'm not getting a satisfactory answer.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if worshipping the tree was correct, I would worship a tree.
Okay.
Now, if worshiping a tree was correct, would you worship a tree?
No.
No. If it was correct, you see,
It's not correct,
We
no.
got hold. This is what
But
I'm
it's, logic dictates to us that it's nonsensical. This is why I'm saying that
That's
we
why
can
I'm thinking
cancel.
about it's a
We can
compromise
cancel.
conversation.
That's why I think
Because-
we can cancel now.
because we've interjected a concept. The concept is if. Now, we're saying we want to follow truth.
Yeah.
I'm saying if the tree was the truth, would we worship it? I'm saying yes. So the good thing about you to me is you know I will follow what you're believing if you can prove it's true. But obviously to you, you won't because you are dogmatic in your thinking.
No, but you
Does that make sense?
No,
You
I
can't
disagree. No way.
compromise. Sorry, you can't compromise on absolutes. So just for even entertainment purposes,
there's a bruise on his back.
no, it's okay. I'm just even for discussional purposes, you can't compromise on absolutes.
What does that mean?
So in this case, when you say if a tree is a god, you're asking me to switch off my part of the brain that has rationalised and established a tree can't be God, and you can't put an if here.
Now here's how it
But
works.
even because we can discuss
So, bro,
that a
for
tree
me-
isn't a god.
Shalom.
Well, why not?
Because we can use rationality and show that a tree has no power, it has no will, it came into being, it was not
Where's your evidence
created.
that God has will? Or God exists?
Okay.
And this is where the conversation gets
So now we have to go to the
Can I just say one thing,
atheist-
please?
I'm
Look,
not
that's what I'm
atheist,
saying.
by the way.
No, I was
That's
gonna
what
say
we
the
are not
discussion.
Muslim. We're not Muslim. And just assuming well.
Just so you know, before we go,
Yeah.
I'm more interested in how you answer questions
Yes.
rather than answering. That's
Okay.
as you know.
No problem. Okay, so for example, Hamza was born into a Muslim family, but Hamza grew up in Brixton, if you don't know, and I'm sure he's gone through life as a teenager. It's not like just we're born Muslim, born into a Muslim family, and we just follow everything they say, and we haven't gone to a college or and heard different views and ways of life and did that. Most people are born into a Muslim family, they grow up in a Muslim family. A lot of the Muslim parents do not teach their kids their cultural Muslim. So they may do celebrate Ramadan because everyone else is celebrating Ramadan, but because it's part of their culture. A lot of Eid after Eid, they go and contradict it. They have these big parties and then
So many Muslims don't believe.
what they don't believe. What I'm trying to say to
They're
you,
cultural Muslims.
they're cultural
And they
Muslims.
haven't done the research, right?
Yeah, they have done research. So what happens
relevant
when they reach teenagers, and at uni or college or stuff, or state school, they hear different views, Hinduism, evolution, this, that, and the other. And then what they do, they go through a time of reflecting, and they come to the conclusion, you know what? I compared Islam to evolution, to atheism, secularism, and I'm comfortable
But then
there.
what I'm saying
So
is,
can I?
could you not be wrong?
No, but can I answer this?
And that's the easy thing.
No, because
Could you be wrong?
All the time.
Okay, could you be
no,
wrong?
the reason I can't be wrong is I've exhausted the possibilities. I've looked at because when I look at
That's
Hinduism,
interesting.
He says he means logically, he
and I
doesn't
wasn't
think
born
so.
into a Muslim family.
You know the word think.
Yeah, but I wasn't born
That's
into
a very
Muslim.
important
I wasn't
thing.
born. I've exhausted the
Now, I'll say
possibilities.
that. Just say Allah, right, came down in the form of Jesus Christ. Let's say.
I don't believe that
I know this. But this is a
because he just
hypothetical.
ate and slept and prayed.
Hold on.
Who's God, the creator of all this?
Okay, could God do that if he chose
No.
will?
I'll tell you why.
It's logically,
I'll tell you why.
Okay, what
Biological,
what could God do? What could God do to communicate with you? What could he do in your knowledge?
He can send prophets.
So it is impossible for God to talk to you using audio.
So one second.
he can speak to us in
Raven
audio.
wants
If
to
he
know
wanted
the
to.
psychology of a believer.
Yes.
You are, however, we have to show that
I
God
ask him? I want to
exists.
ask him something.
This is why it's slightly difficult because he just wants to know the psychology.
can I
He's
ask
just
him-
flaunting
can I ask him-
he's flirting with the psychology.
Can I ask him-
But you want to actually know as to how we know God exists.
No, I'm interested in all the ideas, especially what he
Hamza,
said.
can I ask
But
him
it's difficult to answer this at the same time.
Hamza,
This
it's very
one.
important. Can I ask him a question? For example, Raven, I believe, but he hasn't told me this, I believe that Raven is maybe either a theist, but it's not tied to any religion, or agnostic, but I think he's more of a theist. I could be 100% wrong, he could be a hardcore atheist. But you,
I'll tell you what.
yeah,
I'm very proud of it. I value not knowing.
Yeah.
I think it's valuable to not know. And because I don't know, I seek. Yes. And that's what it is. So I'm comfortable not knowing.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to people who say they know.
This is what Islam
and
says.
I'm wanting them to give me
Islam
what they know.
says half of knowledge is saying Allahu Alam, I don't know. Islam says this. Half of knowledge is saying Allahu Alam, I don't know, yes? So I say to you, if you had problems in your life, yeah, and you tried everything physically possible in the physical realm, yes, and it was a really big thing, say your mum had cancer or something, yeah, I don't believe, yeah, you would turn to this Even bottle, yes, and start saying, oh, Even bottle, please remove cancer from my mum's dad. However, you may say, if there's a force out there, if there's a power out there, yeah, if you exist, can you remove this cancer from my mum? Yes? And you may do that, but I don't think you would look at an Even bottle and do it. Why? Because this Even bottle doesn't have the qualities of...
You're right, but then you have to start thinking about how people process information. So, depending on someone's upbringing, that might not even be an option to pray to any kind of force. Because of how they've lived, they might have accepted death as part of the cycle. So when the mother is dying, they celebrate her life and they try to get as much from her before she leaves. You know what I'm saying? So rather than trying to keep her sustaining that pain, they look forward to her going to the pain being relieved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they could believe that.
It's a different way to process information.
But tied to that belief is other stuff, and you have to. It comes in a package. You can't take some as well. There's also, if you're a darker person, yeah, you come back as something worse as well. So
What does that mean? I don't understand.
for example, in Hinduism, you're talking about reincarnation.
Well, you're talking about this individual who's looking at the cancer person. What I'm saying is, your paradigm has been very shaped.
But I'm talking about your paradigm.
Yeah, but right now,
I'm not talking about coming from a religious.
Yeah, so for me,
I'm talking about you.
yeah,
Not,
so for me, I don't know if I would call some a force. I would probably celebrate the life that my mom was there, and I would wish better on her. But I know hope is the first step on the road to
but I don't think
so,
I don't think you'd be happy. Sincerely, I don't believe if your mum died of cancer, you'd be happy and think she's in a better place.
But,
I know no one's in a better place.
Can
No
I
one knows.
answer?
I wouldn't have that information.
Can I give an answer?
Yeah.
But how can you celebrate then?
I would celebrate her life, meaning that the legacy of her is me, and I'm now taking over certain things that she would have.
Okay, you're celebrating. Okay, you're celebrating what she gave you in this life.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm saying I have more belief, yeah.
I would love to believe that there's a higher force that's looking after.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm talking to those who actually understand.
But
the
I think
force.
there's more.
But I'm not content with the answer
Okay,
I'm given.
but what I'm saying is that I believe there will be more chance of you doing one of three things. There'll be more chance, maybe if you not of just thinking that if there's something that thing, help her with her cancer, yes, or take care of her after she passed.
Now let me add to that.
Then the Even
Now,
bottle.
let's add to that. Now,
Do you understand what
there's
I'm
an
saying?
emotional thing, right?
Yeah.
And
Can I say
I'll say one thing that you say, right? Emotionally, if someone gives me nice information, emotionally I like to go with it. So if you go, there's this all-powerful being that loves you and your mum and is curing it,
comforting.
I would like to believe that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. So if you want to ask me what I like to believe, yeah, give me the best.
But you
of all time
definitely
I
wouldn't
want to
believe that this Even bottle is taking care
Unless
of her
I
in the
believe
next
that
life.
the force is so powerful that it could manifest itself in a bottle, and it told me that I go fair.
But then you would be greater than the Even bottle.
No, because then
In size.
the fact that it could be omnipresent and it exists in the ball and in itself. So
But
then,
does this have knowledge?
well, what I'm saying is this is where we go against reality, isn't it?
But do you believe this has knowledge?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't be worshipping the bowl. What I'm saying is, if the force that you're talking about is so powerful it can do this word anything, then that means anything it could possess this bottle. Therefore, being it's present in the bottle, but it's also present in the afterworld.
But we have no proof that at the moment.
Well, so far, there's no proof of anything we're talking about. And that's what I'm trying to make you
No,
understand.
there is proof. There is
Okay,
proof.
well,
This is why we need to go to the base of the discussion. But that's why I was saying
but
that
you know what it is, Phil?
if you're going into psychology, which makes it hard.
But you know-
Unless we
Oh, but the psychology
agree
of
that
belief is
that
the core of of it.
Yeah,
though.
no, the psychology ability is interesting.
But you know what it is,
to
proof?
flow with knowledge, but we need to understand the base first, and then we can build everything they are. And that is monotheism, or that is theism, and then monotheism.
But there is proof.
that believe that God.
But there is proof.
Because all of this other stuff, yeah, would be explained if we understand that God exists and that there is only one word, one worthy of worship. Then all things fall through because knowledge of how He works and why He's working like that, yeah. If we know that God's knowledge is greater than His, then we wouldn't measure God by our standard. We would measure ourselves by God's standard.
I would never know how you care about the information, but this gentleman want to get a question. Houston, let's stop bullying. No, come, we got a question, brother.
No, the question, the problem I was having is that you guys are having this conversation, and I get because I'm Muslim and I'm a revert, but I also get from your position, because I used to ask these questions, and like you're saying, the answer you're coming back with, from my perspective as a Muslim, is you're trying to explain to somebody who's already accepted Islam. You have to listen to what they're saying and actually respond to what they're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm actually interested to hear your responses to what they're saying, but stop trying to take them on the road down a specific path of understanding Islam first. They clearly don't understand Islam
But
first.
that's what I'm saying, it needs to
so
go.
you have to understand the psychology of belief, like they're saying.
There's a reply to what he said.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said there's no proof of anything that we're talking about. But I disagree. There's proof that this world is not an accident.
Whoa, I wouldn't say that at all.
Okay, do you believe summertime and wintertime is an accident?
Oh man, come on. It's the axis of the Earth, and the distance of the sun, and the water in the atmosphere.
But do you think it's an accident then?
So you believe?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Why would it not
Okay,
be? There's other planets in the universe
Amazing.
that have
The
the same
Question is,
quality.
is there a possibility?
Amazing.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility.
The bad
So here's
question
the question
is-
I asked you then. If a hurricane was to go through a junkyard and produce a perfectly working car or a watch, would you say that's an accident?
Drop the mic.
Yeah, it could be. It's chaos theory, man. Anything can happen.
Oh,
when it's
come
in
on.
enough time.
That's a lie.
But
What's the probability
What's the
of
probability on
What's
that
the
versus
Very
a
small.
greater power created?
Excuse me.
Yeah, but it's
Unlikely.
never happened.
And this is the thing is,
This is not real. When you guys
if
are
you're
bad.
agnostic
never
about
happened.
this year, you
Excuse
never
me.
come to
This is
any
not true. This is not
conclusion.
I think
true.
the idea is...
You know that.
But your examples never happened.
That's not a reality. Do you know why? It's not
But
a
we said
reality.
this is what happened with the Earth. That is so implausible that all of this.
No, but we are designed to live here. It's not impossible.
You know,
we are designed to live
people
here.
say this, but they
Yeah,
don't
this is
believe.
why, by
tree.
design,
My
by
God.
who?
People say
By
this.
how? By
Pe-
evolution.
By,
Excuse
by
me.
what?
By the
And who
environmental
created
impact.
evolution? Evolution shows how A became B, but how does it explain how A got there in the first place?
So we come to the point where scientists or skeptics like myself say that we have no idea. The universe exists, it happens, and we don't know why.
Okay, but what's the probability now?
There's more probability.
Excuse me, I'm asking you,
What's the
do you know
probability
of
God
something?
being
It's,
possibly
no,
an
I'm
answer
asking
like
William, do you know of something that came into being from nothing?
I have no idea, man.
No, I'm asking you,
This is
from
a-
your experience.
Look, it's
Simple,
if-
innit?
look,
The
imagine-
answer is clear though, the answer is
Man,
clear. We don't know of anything.
You don't
that
believe
springs
If
into
I
being.
answered your question with yes, it would, in my view, it would be equally ridiculous for you to say it's a god. You have no evidence either way.
Excuse me.
As long as we
You're
get
not
past
being
it. So
Excuse me.
entertainment, go on, man.
Excuse me, first of all, you don't believe this, yeah? Because look, you're saying that this whole universe could have come about by chance, yes? Of
course it could.
Okay, excuse me, what's more complex, the water cycle, yeah, or BMW?
This is not an argument.
No, I'm asking you a question.
It's not an argument.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. You think it's a stupid question, can you please answer it?
I didn't say it was stupid, I said it's not an argument. You're trying to prove the existence of God by saying BMWs are complicated.
I'm saying to you, okay, look, in reality, we don't live like this. When you're going to build a house, yes, you could go, yes, because you're saying anything is possible, yes? You could go to a pub, yeah, and pick some random drunk guys out, yeah, and pay them £150,000 and say, build me a house. There's a possibility they could build you a beautiful house, yes? There's a possibility, but you're not going to do it because it's not most probably not going to work, ain't it? I'm saying to you, you can believe this if you want. You can believe that there's a sun, yes, and it's just in the right place. If it was too far,
It's not, we're evolved here.
Hold on. Can I just finish my thing? Sure. You can believe if you want, yes. So you believe we need the sun, and there's a sun there. If it was too close, we'd burn.
Or we'd be different.
If it was too far, if it's too close, we'd burn. Yes.
No, we could be formed differently.
If the sun was too close,
Let's look at biology. Let's look at biology.
Excuse me.
You've got
But as we
organisms.
are currently, though, as we are currently,
But we've been different. We've evolved.
We've been
I'm asking that though. I'm asking as we are currently.
Okay.
I understand your point. I do get your point.
Why do we look different?
Excuse
Because we
me.
evolved slightly
Excuse
differently.
me.
I get your point.
The sun is hot, yes. The sun is hot. If it was too close to us, we would be burnt. Yes. Yes.
The Earth would be different. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not asking.
You, the planet, what's the planet that's next to us?
differences, yeah.
The planet's next to
Yeah.
us.
Mars.
What I'm saying is, the universe is so big that
You would have an
process-
argument if you went to all these different planets, yes, and there was dead human life on it, and only on Earth there was human life. So you would be able to say, look, Humans were put on all these other places, and the living conditions were properly. Earth is a minority, yes, and there's people
for the conversation, for progressing the conversation. Okay. Let's say yes.
Okay, yes.
Let's say that to the answer to your first one.
Yeah.
Yes. Whether it was right.
Okay.
What's the next step?
See, this is the difference between me as a Muslim. I see that we have a sun here. If it was too close, we're burned. If it was too far away, we freeze. And I don't believe that's a coincidence.
And that's divinity, yeah?
Yeah. And I don't believe it's a coincidence. Also, we're on this earth and we need oxygen. If there wasn't oxygen, we would die. I don't believe it's
Because we're designed to breathe oxygen.
I don't believe it's a coincidence that oxygen. Not only do we have oxygen, let's go on even more. We have trees that take and use oxygen.
Stop it.
And they change it back into fresh one. Maybe you believe
what's
that's
the value in
coincidence.
oxygen?
What do you
Meaning,
mean?
if you're a creator, so for example, what happens is we're looking at what we have, and because we have it, we're describing it. So I mean, like, how wonderful we can breathe, how wonderful we can urinate, how wonderful we can eat. But if you were the creator, you might be, you know what? I'm going to make people so they don't have to eat, don't have to breathe. They're omnipresent.
Right.
Yeah.
But
So I'm saying, but we place value on that.
But I'm a human being. I have to look at it as a human being.
Yeah, that's my point. That's our psychology now.
But you know why his way doesn't work either? If you
what I'm saying, right?
let's go.
You get what I'm going, right?
Let's go with what he says.
Now, everything you say might be true.
Okay.
But please understand the psychology of what I'm saying.
I understand you, Raven, perfectly. But what I'm trying to say to you, I don't believe it's a coincidence that we need oxygen. Not only do we need that oxygen once it's used up to be changed into fresh oxygen, we have trees that change that. I don't believe this is all just a constant, all just a thing. For example, if we didn't have eyelashes, then things would constantly get into eyes and we would walk around all day.
But you understand,
But can I
but
finish?
you understand that,
Hold on.
that beings that didn't have eyelashes potentially would have died out for that reason, right?
What do you mean, beings?
So,
Human beings.
This is hypothetical.
making this up?
Hypothetical. So
Yeah,
what I'm
but we don't know
saying
it exists.
if these things keep us alive, those that don't have it die.
But we don't
So
know
then-
that there's beings without
Well,
eyelashes.
we do have fossil records of things that did not survive certain elemental.
But I don't believe in evolution. I don't believe.
That's the issue.
There's no proof behind it.
I'm talking about
my evolution.
I'm talking about
It's
things
a
that
theory.
die.
It's got evidence.
Yeah, so we survive here because we have the right equipment to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
But some things, as time changes,
Okay.
die.
Well, if that's the case, what you believe, yes?
Well, it's not really a belief.
No. What I'm trying to say is this: if a person believes, let's say this world is an accident,
I don't know.
then this whole conversation about fathers, I don't know how we got here, but fathers abandoning their children, yeah?
Talking about
Then
hip hop.
it's
as well.
irrelevant. Do you know
No,
why?
here's why.
Can I explain
Because we
why?
define our own reality.
But can I explain why? Because if there's no God or power or force being that intentionally created us, yes, we have a conscience, yes, and that's why we're having this conversation. There's something our conscience is telling us that men are running away from their responsibility. We believe that God gave us our conscience intentionally. If you believe in evolution, we got conscience by accident. No. If we got conscience by accident,
By survival.
Excuse me, not by survival. If there's no creator and you just got atoms and neutrons bumping around, and we got a conscience, a mind by accident, yes, it doesn't matter if we follow or not.
Now, remember, I'm going to try to elevate the conversation.
It doesn't matter if you.
I'm going to elevate the conversation, see if you look into it, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you found out that everything you believed was wrong, but you knew that if they believed it, they wouldn't fornicate, kill, and take drugs, right? Would you have them continue believing that, or would you tell them the truth, knowing that they're going to go into a wayward state?
So if I found Israel was false.
So for some reason you've come to the conclusion that whatever you believe has been inaccurate, not correct, right? And the opposite was true. But you realise that these people believe what you believe, and because of that belief, it made them righteous, quote unquote, right? But you know that if you tell them that it's not true, they will then be wayward. Would you tell them? Would you carry on letting them believe this because it made them
If
wayward?
I find out that getting married and being responsible was wrong,
No. I'm saying the drive behind it. I mean, I'm going to look after my wife because Allah tells me, or Jehovah tells me. But I realise that maybe it's not Jehovah. Or whatever, right?